Am I the idiot for making my MIL believe I was having an affair? I, 27F, and my husband, 26M, are big gaming addicts. Our parents hate that we played games, and we have gotten multiple fights as children and adults over our hobby. It is a sore subject in our family, and we have opted to lie and say we are outside if anyone asks what we are doing. We both work from home, and right after work we proceed to play games until midnight. None of us like leaving the house, so we are practically next to each other 95% of the time. There is no humanly possible way for either of us to cheat on one another. I am currently pregnant, and this has caused our in-laws to visit very frequently. Due to this increase in visits, we have reduced much of our gaming time for the better health of the baby, and so they do not see us gaming. We have gotten an argument about how our hobbies are unacceptable, childish, and that we needed to change. Sundays are known to everyone as the unavailable a day. We always say we are on date or something, but in reality we are at home getting our weekly gaming quota covered. My husband went to a gaming cafe with friends vicing, and I stayed home last Sunday. Mael decided later to call me in the middle of a match, and I suppose I was acting very suspicious because I wanted to end the conversation ASAP. She asked what I was doing, and I replied automatically without thinking that I was on a date with my husband. According to my husband, she then later called him and he said that he was at a bar with friends. Mael decided to visit my house, where I was undoubtedly in the middle of another game. I avoided any phone calls and pretended to not hear the knocking until my match was over, 20 minutes or so. Afterwards I answered the door and pretended that I was sleeping, which is why I wasn't answering the phone or door. Mael exploded at me, calling me a cheater and that the child I was pregnant with was not her son's, because otherwise, why would I not answer the door? The idea that I would cheat, and that it would even be possible to cheat on my partner, was so hilarious to me that I burst out laughing, which angered Mael even more. She continued to berate me while I just smiled, sitting there thinking how ridiculous all this was. When my husband came home, she berated me in front of him about how I was cheating on him. My husband was visibly confused the whole time, and confirmed with his mother that there was no possible way for me to cheat on him. He explained how we are together practically every moment of the day, and when Mael saw he was not getting on her side, proceeded to get mad at me for leading her on. She called me an asshole for pretending to have an affair and never correcting her before she told other people. Although I never clarified that I wasn't cheating, I do think that it was not her place to come unannounced and proclaim that I am a cheater. Comment 1. It's not that. In 20 minutes my Mael told me not to reach up, wear warmer clothes, drink more water, stop lifting things because I'm pregnant. I already have a mom and a stepmom who leave me alone. I don't need a third one thinking she can control me. It's easier to not talk to her. Comment 2. That's what I don't get by people that watch TV all the damn time but call gamers childish. When I was heavier into gaming, I never watched TV. My TV time was with my Xbox, where others were Netflix or whatever. Same difference, and I feel like I get more out of games than I do TV. I'm the end, it's all entertainment and what you enjoy. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for siding with my son who had an affair over his ex-wife? I am 58, have a son Gerard, 33, and a daughter Jackie, 35. About 3 years ago, Gerard's marriage to his then-wife Alice, is 32, failed because he had an affair. It was a troubled marriage on both sides. Probably wouldn't have lasted much longer anyway, but be that as it may, I'm embarrassed by Gerard's actions. It was wrong, and there is no justification. Needless to say, they did not part on good terms at all, so it is good they do not have children. Before the divorce, they were together for about 10 years. Jackie and Alice were pretty close. Gerard and Jackie haven't spoken much because Jackie has not forgiven Gerard for the affair, and Gerard hasn't tried to patch things up with Jackie because he considers it none of her business. Alice moved back with her family after the divorce in another state, but recently returned. Gerard has been in a relationship with Kylie, 28, for about 2 years and recently got engaged. Kylie was not involved in the affair. Things came to a head this Easter. Normally, I always hosted with my wife before she passed. Our family was never particularly tight-knit, but not contentious either. So we only really got together for holidays with a handful of extended family. Originally, Jackie and her husband were going to host. However, she told me that she invited Alice and her new man to come. I asked her why she would do that. She said it is because Alice was like a sister to her for years and she has nowhere else to go. I asked her about Gerard, and she said that he can come if he wants, but she'd rather have Alice there than him. It got back to Gerard. He and Jackie talked about it and he declined the invitation to do something with Kylie. I called Jackie and told her that I was very disappointed with her decision. What Gerard did was wrong, but the marriage is over and it is time to move on. Jackie then said that Alice was her family and that her decision was final. I told her, if that's how she feels, I can't tell her otherwise. I liked Alice too. If she values Alice over Gerard, she's a big girl and can make that decision. But I choose my son. I then told her that I originally wasn't going to host anything for Easter because I thought she'd host a family dinner where all the family could comfortably attend. But she's not, so I'll host one and invite Gerard and the extended family. I told her that she's of course welcome. So, Gerard and Kylie quickly accepted the invitation, as did the extended family, who cancelled on Jackie. She then blew up on me since I was siding with Gerard over Alice, even though he cheated. I told her that Gerard is not a child for me to discipline anymore, and I can't get involved in his relationships, especially one that ended 3 years ago. Also, father doesn't abandon his children even if they screw up badly. Which she should also be grateful for due to her own reasons, which I will not publicly disclose, not cheating. EDIT 2 things come up which I should have noted. First, we are Russian, American, Orthodox. Our Easter is really our big family holiday, and closer to what people think of as Christmas. Also, something that keeps coming up is that I'm asked about is favoritism. Ironically, I put this together in an attempt to avoid favoritism. Jackie's event was something that nobody could expect Gerard to come to, and Jackie knew he'd never come if Alice were there. So, if I went to Jackie's, I'd be showing favoritism to Jackie by going to an Easter which he wasn't really welcome. Gerard made some grumblings about putting together an Easter at his house and not inviting Jackie. I told him I would not go to an Easter where Jackie isn't welcome. So, me putting together an Easter at my house where everybody was invited was the best I could think of to avoid favoritism. Maybe you'll tell me it wasn't the best idea, but it was the best I could find. Comment 1. People on this sub seem you think if you cheat your life might as well be over. If your child hates you for the rest of your life? Good, you shouldn't have cheated. Your entire family cuts you off cause they like your partner more? Good, you shouldn't have cheated. I agree with you, there's a point where you need to just move on and stop worrying so much about being a victim, but this sub is usually hell-bent on villainizing a cheater as much as possible. Comment 2. The situation Jackie put the entire extended family in as well. Seriously. My family does a huge family Christmas too, and I'd be pissed if someone would first volunteer to host and then invite someone's ex because they're friendly, intentionally creating a situation where either there's gonna be tension and probably arguments between the exes ruining the mood, or a family member is missing but instead the ex is there. Which also ruins the mood because it'd feel like the entire family is ousting the family member for the sake of the ex, like, we're choosing this person over you, and yeah. I don't want our family Christmas to be used for sidestaking or message sending like that. I don't care what the host personally feels. It's not really their party, even if they're hosting that year, it's the family's event, in a way. It'd just be this one person ruining the holiday for everyone, because they decided they want to send a message to the family member whose ex they want to include instead. But they should use their own birthday or wedding or whatever garden party for taking stands if they want to, not the traditional big family gathering. The entire family ditching Jackie's event in favor of OP's event, where the whole family is welcome, suggests they feel the same, and don't approve of Jackie maneuvering to exclude Jerry from the big family event. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for not allowing my late husband's affair partner come to his funeral? 3 weeks ago my husband died in a car accident halfway across the country. He said he was going to a work trip, but we later found out that all of that was just another one of his lies, and he was actually on a cheating trip. Something he'd seemingly been doing for at least the past 5 years. So,
Yeah.
it's been a very fun few weeks. Feel fantastic. Our kids are 7F, 14M and 19M. Only the eldest knows about the affair and we all agreed to keep it to ourselves. The problem lies with his partner. She wanted to be involved. I told her that wouldn't be possible and she should respect our privacy. Even putting my feelings aside, though he's trying to be strong for his younger siblings, my eldest is battling with his anger and grief. Having her there would only cause problems. Regardless, she was there when we arrived at the graveyard, standing some distance away, but she was still close enough to everyone to just make her stand out as if she wants to be seen. I told my brother and he removed her without causing too much of a scene. Afterwards she sent me a text which summarized basically called me selfish for blocking her from being there, and saying I robbed her of the chance to say
Goodbye.
properly. For some reason this is slightly bothering me. I've found myself justifying my actions to myself repeatedly since receiving that text. I still believe I did what was right and put my kids first. She had no business there and her presence would only cause drama. She could always go to his grave whenever she wants to say
Goodbye.
Comment 1. A family friend's husband was having an affair for 20+ years and that woman knew the entire time about his family. He was at her ranch one time and was bucked off a horse and broke his back. The affair partner called his wife to tell her and acted like everything about this situation was normal, and the wife had no reason to act all upset at the affair. Some people really just have no shame. Comment 2. Not necessarily. My husband broke backbones and ribs in a horseback riding accident and was up throwing hay bales onto a truck the next day. Truly, not very smart, but there it is.